Yo, what it do, YouTube? Your boy Doms Reacts back with another video. And today we are reacting to the craziest beefs in NBA history. We all love beef, drama, spiciness in our life every now and then. We even watch movies and get very emotionally invested into it. We read books. If you're a reader, get very emotionally invested into that too. A book wouldn't be a book, a movie wouldn't be a movie without some kind of conflict or drama. So today we reacting to the craziest beefs in NBA history. This video is about non-stop sports. Links will be in the description. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video. We pushing hard for this 100 subscribers. That's why you see a lot of the double uploads every day.
NBA is an environment filled with hyper-competitive individuals with big egos, where everything revolves around winning and, even more importantly, around money. In that kind of environment, conflict is inevitable, and confrontations, fights, and beefs are an everyday occurrence. Here are the most famous beefs in NBA history.
I really wanted to see the Warriors play against. I really wanted to see the Warriors and the OKC Thunder play each other in a playoff setting, because those two, well, that would lead to some heated games. But I really wanted to see how much more heated it would have got in a playoff situation. And KG,
some of which are still unresolved to this day.
Yeah, I would believe it.
Derek Fisher versus Matt Barnes.
Yeah, I remember this.
Women.
I feel like a lot of I saw a video in my recommended about a week ago. I added it to the list. It's like, I believe it's titled like NBA players that slept with teammates' wives. I'm gonna try to get that to y'all soon too. But when these girls get involved, man, dudes may really make. But I'm not gonna lie, Derek Fisher did break the bro code.
Women can argue about a million things, while men's fights are usually either about money, pride, or women.
Yep.
One of the most recent NBA beefs is between former Lakers teammates Matt Barnes and Derek Fisher. Their beef was not about money or pride. It was about Gloria Govan, Barnes' ex-wife, who started dating Derek Fisher after the split with Barnes. When Barnes found out, he completely lost his mind, feeling betrayed by D-Fish, who broke the bro code. He realized that Fisher was attending a house party at his own house where Govan still lived with his two sons. Completely outraged, Barnes stormed to the location and physically assaulted Fisher. Several people
but it's her and Derek Fisher still together.
Were needed to keep all the smoke host from beating up his former teammate. Now, the situation has cooled off, and Fisher is still dating Gloria Govan with no objections from Barnes. Kevin Durant versus Russell Westbrook. After the OKC Thunder lost to the Warriors in a dramatic 7-game series of the 2016 Western Conference Finals,
KD will never be viewed the same by me. Even if he won, this is y'all be getting on LeBron by the Mickey Mouse rings. KD, all of his rings are Mickey Mouse rings.
KD became the most coveted free agent in the world. A generational talent like him is not available on the market every summer, and basically every team wanted to endear themselves to Kevin.
Let's be real, we all, for the most part, when the rumors got out about him going to Warriors, we all thought it was crazy, because it was like, you know, he too much of a competitor to go outside like that.
Secure his services. Nobody did it better than the Warriors, who just defeated Durant but lost to King James in the finals. They needed his help, and the whole team was employed to lure Durant to the Bay, starting with a million messages from Draymond. KD, on the other hand, needed a change of scenery. He loved Oklahoma City, but he pulled a Magic Johnson and decided that he's not really gonna be there anymore. Like Ray Allen, KD simply left and never discussed things with his main partner in crime, Russell Westbrook. Russ took this a certain way and felt betrayed that KD would join a team that had just beaten them in the playoffs and won 73 games. The entire OKC felt the same, and a lot of people in the world did too. Durant was called soft, weak, a snake, and a cupcake. When he returned to Oklahoma in a Warriors jersey, Chesapeake Energy was as hostile as a sports arena can get. The atmosphere then got scorching hot when Russ and KD got into an argument during the game to make the beef even more poetic. At the 2017 All-Star Game, Durant and Westbrook were teammates for the West team, but they never really spoke once during the whole weekend. When Durant passed by him, Westbrook ignored him completely, and it was a scene that the whole NBA world was buzzing about.
I'm not gonna lie too, though, I feel like the media was a big part in this. I feel like the media did over-exaggerate the drama between these two a little bit, but I know West
Nowadays, the beef is no longer active and both players moved on. However, they are not nearly as close as they once were, and they probably never will be. Kobe Bryant versus Shaquille O'Neal.
Yep.
In 2009, Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal shared the All-Star Game MVP, raised the trophy together, both smiling from ear to ear. It was a beautiful scene for all NBA fans worldwide.
Yep,
seeing two legends bury the hatchet, at least for a little while. Less than a year before, Shaq had made a rap appearance in a club in New York, and the infamous video of the Kobe diss appeared online, with Shaq wondering how his posterior tastes. Vulgarverse seemed to be a nail in the coffin for the derailed relationship of the most dominant 1-2 punch in NBA history. There were two alpha dogs who didn't want to back down from anybody, and the clash was inevitable. Kobe hated that Diesel didn't have his work ethic, and Shaq went mad when Kobe would shoot too much and not pass the ball. They often fought in practice, and they started trading barbs through cryptic and not so cryptic messages in the media. The product on the court didn't suffer, but after they failed to win their fourth title in 2004 finals, Shaq had to go. In 2010, after Kobe won his fifth ring, he was asked what the title meant for him personally. With one of the most legendary NBA one-liners, Kobe said, "I got one more than Shaq," and proved the 2009 All-Star moment was just a moment and that the beef was still alive. Still, these two hotheads patched things up, and their 40-minute conversation on TNT is one of the best basketball interviews you can see on YouTube. Nick Young versus D'Angelo Russell. In a truly,
I'm not gonna lie, I really lost respect for D-Lo after this, man.
Baffling set of circumstances, a video of a conversation between Nick Young and Russell.
His personal life within you, which it is kind of Nick Young's fault for trusting him, but you got to think they were teammates, so I should be able to trust my teammate, right? In this case, wrong.
Russell surfaced online where D'Angelo was asking his teammate Swaggy P about his love life. It was a conversation that wasn't supposed to leave that room, considering Young was then engaged to the rapper Iggy Azalea. Dirty Laundry came out, and Young's infidelity became free for public consumption, and it was all D'Angelo Russell's fault.
Young been in a lot of drama, like obviously off the court, but like he been in a lot of drama lately with the WNBA and some other stuff.
Since the video leaked through his own Twitter account. Young's engagement was terminated thanks to the video, and so was the relationship between the two players. Russell apologized, but it was to no avail. There is no coming back from a move like that. Teammate confidentiality is sacred in the NBA, and Russell brought the rap moniker upon himself, which is one of the worst things for an NBA player. Their beef was never really resolved, but both players moved on, and Nick became a champ with the Warriors and is now engaged to Kiana Green, while D'Angelo made the All-Star team, and his public image is now mostly rodent-free. Gilbert Arenas versus Javaris Crittenton.
Yeah.
No Chill Gil and Javaris Crittenton were a very dangerous NBA duo and had nothing to do with basketball. Washington Bullets changed their name to Wizards in 1997.
And this is why Gilbert Arenas is a better shooter than Curry.
But Crittenton and Arenas did everything in their power to bring the old name back. These two brought guns to the locker room following a dispute over a card game and threatened to shoot each other. Their teammates took them seriously and scattered around. The police were called, and Gil and Javaris both got suspended for a year. Crittenton never played in the NBA again and is currently doing jail time for...
Crittenton wasn't never really that good. But Gilbert, of course, was a star. He came back, but he wasn't the same no more.
Armed robbery. We seriously doubt that Arenas comes to visit. Jason Kidd versus Jim Jackson and Jamal Mashburn.
Why?
A woman was also the reason that got between Jason Kidd, Jamal Mashburn, and Jim Jackson, who were part of the Triple J trio with the Mavericks in the late 90s. Three young stars were supposed to be the staple of the Mavericks' future, but were ultimately separated because of egos and a female. None other than the singer Toni Braxton. Although this has never been officially confirmed, Braxton reportedly blew off a date with Jason Kidd and instead went out with Jimmy Jackson, while Mashburn also allegedly had an interest in the singer. Cooler heads didn't prevail, and this incident caused a rift that would ultimately blow up the Mavs locker room and cause the split of the 3Js. And to end the women's portion of the video, we'll mention another case of defecating where one eats. The one between Tony Parker and Brent Barry when they both played for the Spurs. Parker was married to actress Eva Longoria, and the two were very good friends with Barry and his wife, Erin. The friendship and the marriages ended when the truth of adultery between Tony Parker and Erin Barry came out, and naturally, the two men were never on speaking terms again.
Exactly.
Ray Allen versus the Celtics. If you can't beat them, join them. That's what Ray Allen thought in 2012 offseason and gave birth to one of the biggest NBA beefs in the last decade, which still isn't settled today. After LeBron James played the best
Paul
game...
Pierce, gotta acknowledge it. I think ESPN wrongfully fired my man. And even though he says a lot of dumb stuff on ESPN, they shouldn't have fired him. But yeah, I can see why this beef.
Game of his career, and then finished the Celtics off in the 2012 Eastern Conference Finals. The Celtics were at a crossroads. Their big three, who operated so
if
well
he missed
since
that shot, Tim Duncan's legacy would have been 6-0 in the finals, because they probably would have won that next year. 6-0 in the finals. LeBron would be 3-7. Dwayne Wade, the Heat would have only won one championship, so that would have been a fail. Let's be real. If they won one championship out of the 4 years, they've been considered a failed super team. Like, so much in history would have changed if Ray Allen missed that shot.
Assembly in 2007 were getting up in age. After they defeated James in 2008 and 2010, Bron returned the favor in 2011 and 2012, and it seemed that 36 and 35-year-olds Garnett and Pierce are on their last legs as dominant NBA players. Ray Allen was even older, and at the age of 37, the Celtics were stalling with his contract negotiations. Allen was partly offended and partly wanted just to get a deal, so he took his talents to South Beach. However, his move to Miami didn't go over so well with the Celtics, especially
if they
Garnett.
were stalling,
he felt like Allen was the traitor who signed the deal with their arch enemy and betrayed the team. The way Ray did it was also a reason for the demise of the relationship, as Allen never addressed the move with his teammates. He just packed his things and left. When the man known as Jesus Shuttleworth first came to Boston, he was heavily booed, and Garnett refused to shake hands or even acknowledge his presence. Ultimately, Allen's team switching proved to be a good decision, because unlike KG and Pierce, Ray was able to add another ring on his fingers.
Video just off KG's crazy trash talk stories.
One of the most clutch shots in NBA history. For years, nobody from the Celtics 08 team spoke with Ray Allen until the beef was squashed in 2018, and he is now on speaking terms with most of his former teammates. Most, but not all. Rondo and Ray were never particularly close, and Garnett didn't soften his stance either. So this beef still lives on today. Michael Jordan versus Isaiah Thomas. In the
Michael Jordan said he wasn't going to play the Olympics if Isaiah Thomas was playing.
1985 All-Star Game in Indianapolis, Isaiah Thomas supposedly organized a freeze-out of rookie Michael Jordan and never passed him the ball because he was jealous of all the attention Mike was getting. Of course, Mike took it personally, and that's when the beef started to stew. The fuel was added to the fire when Isaiah and Jordan repeatedly ran into each other in the playoffs. MJ took an L once, twice, and then once again, and saw the Pistons become back-to-back champs. In the 80s, Pistons were beating MJ hard, both literally and metaphorically. The infamous Jordan rules were in place, and Mike took a lot of physical punishment when he played against Isaiah Lambeer and the rest of the
bad boys.
When Jordan and the Bulls finally got their revenge and swept their arch nemesis.
But you know, we always say about how players today, if they couldn't beat a team, they just go form a new.
Before the end of the final game, Isaiah and the Bad Boys decided to go to the locker room without shaking hands with Mike, Scotty, and others. As you can probably guess, Jordan took it personally and felt disrespected. When he got the call to play in the 1992 Olympics, MJ said he would only play if Isaiah is not on the team. The already rocky relationship was never repaired after that, and Isaiah never forgave Michael for keeping him off the dream team. The feeling is mutual, and these two legends are still not seeing eye to eye, as you probably know if you watched The Last Dance. Larry Johnson
because I didn't hear about this one, but didn't they say like Isaiah Thomas never saw, he said he never saw
versus Alonzo Mourning.
Or something like that.
Larry Johnson and Alonzo Mourning were both drafted by the Charlotte Hornets with the first and second pick in 1991 and 1992. The situation seemed ideal, and the two were turning out to be among the best big man pairing in the league, and the Hornets were buzzing on all cylinders. Then the Hornets gave Johnson a lucrative $84 million contract for 12 years, making it clear to Zoe that Larry was going to be their franchise player.
We always say nowadays too about how players are more loyal now. Players, you heard what he said, a 12-year contract. The most you will see nowadays is 5. That's why you would see a lot of players play their whole career on one
Charlotte
team.
Still counted on Mourning, but he declined their contract offer for $78.4 million over 7 years. It was not so much about the money, as Zoe would be the second highest player in the league behind Jordan, but because of the butting heads between the two stars, who both wanted to be the alpha dog and despised each other. Both players were traded. Mourning went to Miami, and Larry Grandmama Johnson went to the Knickerbockers. Every time they saw each other, they went extra hard to get the best of one another, and their battles were always extremely physical. It all culminated in a spectacular fashion during the 1998 playoffs,
where
fought?
Zoe
and Johnson got into a fight, which also
like
involved the 5'9" Knicks coach Jeff Van Gundy, who tried to stop the fight and ended up under Mourning's legs, holding on to them for dear life. The incident didn't calm things down, and they were still feuding years later. Jalen Rose versus Chris Webber.
I'm pretty sure
Jalen Rose and Chris Webber share a lot of history together. They met when both players...
And then, like, he didn't want to be in the... Chris Webber didn't want to be in the Michigan State... Well, I said Michigan State. The Michigan Fab Five documentary.
Were 12 years old, as both grew up in Michigan together. They played AAU together and became best friends. Both five-star recruits, they decided to go to the University of Michigan together, where they would join Juwan Howard, Jimmy King, and Ray Jackson
and form
the Fab
league,
Five, one of the most famous NCAA teams of all time. The friendship took a U-turn around the time of production of the Fab Five 30 for 30 documentary. In 2002, Webber was charged for lying to a grand jury as part of a larger investigation of a numbers gambling operation run by Michigan basketball program booster Ed Martin. Due to that scandal, C-Webb received a 10-year ban from any association with the school, and because of that, he decided not to be involved with the documentary. That decision alienated him from the rest of the Fab Five, especially Jalen Rose. In 2019, after Juwan Howard started coaching the Michigan Wolverines, Jalen Rose said that he and Webber are working on their relationship and that the whole Fab Five will be present together at one of the Michigan games.
That's a W. Yo, I want to see these two videos. I wanna check those out. But hey, anyways, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and we out. Peace.